Have you ever played Skyrim and thought this would be an amazing pixel art game? Neither have I. But the characters are cool, so we're making pixel art sprites for them. Hi, I'm Chris. If anyone is even watching this, it feels super weird talking to no one in my flat alone. But here we are, we giving it a shot. So I've been on a Skyrim binge for the past few weeks, and I decided I wanted to make pixel art of Skyrim, and I wanted to start a little bit easier, so I decided to make pixel art sprites for all the Whiterun NPCs. We all love Whiterun. Spend way too much time there. This is the first 39. It's in alphabetical order. That was just the easiest. The first 39 from the 79 that there are in Whiterun. I did not know there were that many, but here we are. I will post a part 2 soon. But yeah, please enjoy and watch me struggle to figure out how to represent these characters in a few pixels. Just as an aside, I put a blooper reel at the end showing my rambling trying to record this intro. So I had a few interesting struggles with this. I've made some pixel art things, like quite a bit, for my studies, but also just in my personal time. And something that I find kind of hard is getting detail into a character to make them recognizable. So it's a personal character, that's one thing. You can kind of do as much or as little detail and it doesn't really matter because it's, you know, it's an original character and it's fine. But something like this, where it's like I'm kind of doing a fan art of actual characters, you kind of need to be careful about what details you do add and which ones you leave out. I don't know if I've successfully chosen like the right stuff to leave in or leave out. I'm not even sure if I chose the color palette correctly. Like I color picked off of the photo, like I tried to go for mid-tones as far as I could and then kind of adjust from there. But it wasn't always that easy to get, like it wasn't always possible. So I hope I got them to be at least sort of recognizable. Something that was like very noteworthy to me was the general overall color palette of Skyrim. It's not something I really paid attention to while playing the game. It's something I only noticed when I started color picking from images, because I never really noted that it's just basically 50 shades of beige. Like, look at this. So it did make the like uniqueness of each character more challenging as well, because all the colors were so similar, like, and all the hairstyles were very similar. It's kind of interesting how Skyrim takes all these similar styles of clothing and of hair and like color palettes, and they actually make very recognizable characters. I love like all the characters, well, most of them. Some of them creep me out, like Iola. She eats people, which is not great. And I know it's just a video game, but it just gives me, like, it makes me feel wrong completely. So I kind of like avoid those quests. Ah yes, I have spent an embarrassing amount of time outside and inside this man's store. Either waiting for him to open the store or waiting for him to have enough money to buy all the things in my inventory that is making me walk extremely slowly. Like, I wonder if the store owners, like, I know it's just like a game, but it's always funny to think about standing there and skipping time, like days at a time, and you're just standing in their store. They're going to bed and going to do their things, and you're just like standing there in the corner, staring into nothingness, waiting. It's always an odd experience. The dark owls were an interesting one because they're the only ones where I changed the pupil colors because it was so obvious in the image itself. So I decided to make their eyes red. I didn't change anyone else's eye color because it wasn't like that clear. But because of the dark owls having such prominent red eyes, I was like, okay, we need to, like, because they have such prominent red eyes, I decided to add it. So I really love the characters, and seeing them, like, it's become like a comfort game. But it's always interesting to see like how they can all be so recognizable, even though like all their color palettes are it's pretty much the same. So yeah, that made it for an interesting challenge to create them and like sort of make them recognizable. I put them all next to each other at the end of the video, and like maybe it's just because I've been staring at them for so long, so I don't know if they like all look unique. Please let me know. I would love some feedback on that. as it's going, I want to give a shout out to the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. That's where I found all the reference images for each of the characters, and it was just extremely easy using the site for information gathering, like all the names. I wasn't into the idea of going through Whiterun trying to find all the characters. I tend to get lost in that game very quickly. So having all the information over there was so useful. So that site's amazing. I was extremely grateful for that. Looking at Danica, it was very clear to me, like I did suspect it with the other characters, but specifically with her, I realized the lighting had like a very big effect. She was more green than I think she should be. Like I said, I was pulling colors directly from the images just for ease, and like drawing her, I was like, something doesn't feel right. And I think it's because she always spends her time in that temple, and it does have like this green hue to it. So she just turned out a little bit more green than expected. really enjoyed drawing Farengar. I don't know why. I think it was just because he's got a very simple design, and it was easier than the other ones to portray. I don't know, it was just really fun drawing him. He was one of the few characters that had very like metallic armor, so this was an interesting one to draw. Yeah, because all the other ones it was mostly leather with like a little bit of metal, where this one was like it was almost fully metal, so this was an interesting one. It was also a fun one to draw. It was a bit different from the other ones. just as we get into the last few ones, I just want to say thank you to anyone who's still watching. And if anyone has any constructive criticism on anything, on the pixel art, on the video, on the editing, I would really, really appreciate it. I am still learning, I'm still figuring the thing out. The editing is stumping me a little bit. So yeah, I'm getting there, but if there's any advice or constructive criticism, I would truly appreciate it. So yeah, thank you. Finally, for this video, Jarl Balgruuf. He was like the most fun to do because he had like a very interesting look to him. It was a bit different from all the others. There was more colors and it was fun. It was fun to do it. Ek het geen idee om hierdie te begin nie. Dit is vir my super weird om hierdie te doen. So ek gaan net soos randomly praat en dan hoop iets kom uit en dan dit gebruik want ek het 'n intro nodig vir die video en ek weet nie wat ek doen nie. So en as ek nie vir die kamera kyk nie, ek's jammer. Soos die skerm is reg agter hom en ek wil heeltyd vir myself kyk. So ek weet dit is nou nie exactly ideaal nie. So hierdie voel weird, maar ek voel asof ek wil meer gemaklik raak met dit en ek wil soos actually op die video wees. Ek wil nie net so speedpaints post nie. So hierdie is ook 'n speedpaint, maar dit is met my woorde in as dit sin maak. So ek weet nie of dit sin maak nie. Maar ek gaan ja, so ja, nou moet ek net dit in Engels sê. So editing ek gaan baie uitgeweerd wees om vir myself te moet luister en vir myself te moet kyk. Ek kyk nie so gereeld vir myself nie speel nie en ek doen obviously, maar ek en vir myself eie stem te luister. Hierdie gaan rof wees vir my, maar dis goed, dis goeie experience, goeie, jy weet, as ek hierdie wil doen, dan gaan ek, jy weet, bietjie meer gemaklik word met dit. So ja, okay. Ramble. Very many rambles. Dan kan ek hier aan die einde van die video sit. Maak dit soos 'n blooper reel. Dan kan my familie vir my lag. Ja. Ja, okay.